Hello, welcome back to the Timesink Anime Podcast. We're talking about Week 7 of Summer 2018. I'm Rex, and this is JT.
Sup, everybody? Glad to be back.
We're sitting on a couch talking about anime.
As per usual.
What have you been watching this past week?
I have been watching a lot of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I said last week I started watching Stardust Crusaders. I am actually now a little over halfway through part 2 of Stardust Crusaders, so they're in Egypt now.
You're almost caught up. Well, you're almost caught up to the newest season anyways.
Yeah, I'm getting close to Diamond is Unbreakable. How about yourself? What have you been watching?
Also JoJo. I've been trying to finish Diamond is Unbreakable so that I can be ready for the new season, which looks awesome.
Yeah,
based on the PVs of it.
It sounds awesome.
It's like, I think the summary I read was, it's like Giorgio Giorgiani, I think his name is.
Something like that. Or Giorgiani.
Something Italian.
Yeah, something stereotypically Italian.
Yeah, he wants to join a mafia, or he wants to join an organized crime group to help people.
Yeah.
And then he just gathers a bunch of stand users, and it just sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, a crime family that's just full of a bunch of stand users. What could possibly go wrong here, folks?
And I also been watching... Well, I binge-watched the entire dub for Konosuba... Or not Konosuba, Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
Oh yes, Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. That was a fun show.
Yeah, the dub was super good.
I have not seen the dub yet. I watched the OVA, though, in sub recently myself, and just watching that OVA, it confirms something that I felt, and this is probably a controversial statement. I don't like Toru.
Yeah, it's a very controversial statement.
I do not like Toru. To me, she is way too clingy, codependent, and just kind of obnoxious. I'm not a fan, and the most recent and the OVA anyway just kind of cemented that feeling for me.
Well, that's the thing about America. You're allowed to have a wrong opinion. Moving on. I also recently just finished... me and you recently just finished... Gun Gale Alternative.
Oh, yes, we did.
That was awesome!
I actually did enjoy that one. And, again, another potentially controversial statement. I'm not a huge fan of sword art.
That's a lot of people.
I mean, but I actually enjoyed this one quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Just it had a good mix of over the top and grounded.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, there was actually... They actually used the concept of using virtual reality to kind of overcome, like, real-world problems in a pretty clever way, I think. Mm-hmm. The main character's backstory, like her being insecure about her height and just wanting to be a cute little girl, was actually really cool, and how she resolved that.
She was so devoted to that. She switched through, I think she bought 10 games or something like that.
Something like that.
Until she figured out, because for some reason it's randomly generates a character. I think that's really dumb.
That is still the dumbest plot point, I think, in the series. The fact that these things are randomly generated character avatars are. So it's just what's the point? I thought a big draw for a lot of MMO games is to create your own avatar that fits your own personal wants, needs, and desires. So why is that a thing? It's stupid. But the thing about it, though, is it kind of points out how stupid that kind of concept is. So... pretty tongue-in-cheek humorous about it.
That's about all I can think of that I've been watching recently.
Yeah. I haven't watched anything else besides a lot of JoJo's. I think next on my backlog after I finish Stardust is going to be Season 2 of Index.
Oh yeah, I gotta get started on Index too. There's so many things to get done before next season.
Yeah, we've only got 5 weeks. 6 weeks maybe. So, better get started.
Yeah. Alright, so, before we move on to our... weekly show segment, I want to remind everyone that we talk about a bunch of shows. Lots of spoilers because we're talking about the weekly shows. If you want to skip to a certain show, there's timestamps in the description below. And other than that, let's get right in.
All right. So, take us off. What are we starting with today?
Starting with Angolmois.
All right. So, if you don't know the basic premise of it by this point, why are you even here? Angolmois just continues to be fascinating. What was the first thing that you noticed that kind of took us off into this current episode?
The Emperor is just a person, I guess?
Yeah.
I expected him to be some kind of godly figure, but apparently he's just a dude.
Yeah. His name is Tokihito, or also known as Emperor Antoku. I don't know what that translates to or if that has any significance, but I was expecting him to sort of be like some kind of sagely, almost divine figure too, because he looked inhuman. We brought that up in the last episode of the podcast, but
they give us a flashback of when he was a kid, and he handed that. I think they called it a katana.
Yeah,
it looks like a dagger to me.
Yeah, like a short sword almost.
They handed that to I think one of the generals,
Yoshitsune, I believe. He was supposed to be like a famous general during that time period.
He handed it off to him, and then that kind of just showed us. I think that the point of the flashback was probably just to show us that the Emperor is a person. Yeah,
I think the other important thing is a word or a phrase that Yoshitsune said to him that kind of stuck with the Emperor's philosophy to this day, and that was, if you want to win, you have to survive. And I think that kind of just carries on to not just the Emperor's philosophy, but also to an extent Jinzaburo, because that's a big point of his philosophy as well. You have to survive if you want to win. You have to make sure everybody survives.
Yeah.
Really, though.
Very idealistic, especially in war.
Absolutely. But we also figure out something cool about the Emperor is that he's Teruhi's great-grandfather. So they are related by blood.
Yeah, weren't they making a big deal about how Teruhi wasn't part of the royal line by blood early on?
Something like that.
I guess she wasn't part of the So clan.
Yeah, she wasn't legitimately part of the So clan is the problem, because of her noble lineage. But we get to learn more about the Toibarai. They're awesome as usual.
Oh yeah, the ambush scene was pretty cool.
Oh man, they are, as it turns out, they are descendants, supposedly, of just Japan's greatest protectors, pretty much. So they were sent in to defend places like Kyushu and places like that, and during ancient times, and these guys are just carrying on that line of duty.
Mm-hmm. That scene where the women are paddling away, and
oh my god,
no, we gotta save them, and I don't remember who pointed it out.
It's just wait.
Yeah, it's they're okay, just wait, and then they all just jump off their boats, and everybody pops up, starts shooting them. And if that wasn't it's cool. It's oh yeah, nice ambush. And then they're oh, we can escape into the water. And then the women are underwater and just start stabbing them.
that was the funniest thing ever. Just all of a sudden, mostly naked women just stabbing people underneath the water.
Which gives us good insight into the Toibarai society.
Yeah,
they don't just have the same classic gender constructs, I should say, how women do the cleaning and cooking and stuff.
Yeah, they women are actually part of the fighting here, and they're mainly done, I think it seems, for shock and awe kind of tactics, because the way they initiated this is just by, they're catching up, throw off your clothes! And that kind of distracted them. It was like a flag, pretty much. They're wait, what just happened? And then when it cuts back and the clothes kind of float away, it's wait, they're gone, where'd they go? And then the Toibarai show up on one. They get caught in a pincer attack, a boat shows up with a bunch of Toibarai, and then on the shore there's a bunch of Toibarai archers just shooting at them.
These guys just have no chance.
Yeah, the Mongols are, for lack of a better word, screwed.
I also liked the cute little relationship between Amushi and Sana.
Oh my god, it was so adorable.
Yeah.
Because I am, just a quick aside, I noticed that that Sana's clothes are green and Amushi's outfit is red. I mean, because he's in exile and it's persimmon red, but those two two colors are complementary colors in real life. So that's just a nice little detail. It's that's adorable.
Yeah, I liked the part where they race each other around, and then they're wait, how is this a race if we are always going to be...
If we're just going to meet each other at the exact same spot.
And then Sana's yeah, you're right, that's a dumb idea. And they just start laughing.
Yeah, it was just a nice little moment, because it just reminds you that there are still children, and they're just kind of remembering, yes, there needs to be time to be children, but at the same time, we get to see more of Amushi and how awesome he is as a character, because just how exceptional of a scout he is.
Yeah, he's actually been pretty important throughout the show.
I mean, one of his claims to fame was that he just had really good night vision, but this shows that he points out really important details. He was walking around the castle and looking around, says that just by looking around, says the castle covers about a mile's worth of territory, it goes uphill, and there are 4 entrances. Jinzaburo later uses this information and points out, this castle's too damn big.
He does what he does best. Piss more people off by pointing out the obvious.
But what's the best part about that is when he says the castle's too big, immediately, just like...
Oh yeah, like 6 women.
Just like daggers to his neck.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what?
And then Onitaka is like, oh yeah, that's the most action you're going to get in a long time.
Oh man.
And I think that's about where the episode ended, where he kind of was trying to explain that to everyone.
Yeah, he tries to say that this castle is ultimately doomed if a large Mongol invasion tries to enter, and there's 4 exits. There are 4 exits, but there are not enough defenders. So if a large enough Mongol force comes in, they'll be pressed for people and will not be able to defend it, and it will fall.
I'm assuming that Jinzaburo is going to suggest the idea that since they let them in, they're going to help defend it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he says, you guys don't have enough people to cover these walls, but now you do, because we're here.
Yep, that could be one thing. I'm also expecting... When are we going to see that damn backup?
Let's see. I think it's been about 2 days.
Yeah, Jinzaburo's friend left a few days ago.
He said, I'll leave and come back in 3 days with backup. Hold out until then.
Yeah, so it kind of makes me wonder if he's going to come up with backup, but Jinzaburo and the rest are going to be dead. but he'll have left a big enough dent in the Mongol army so that Jinzaburo's friend can clean up or something like that.
Well, first of all, let's math this out. So, first night was
the siege on the beach.
The siege on the beach, and that was when they fought back, right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's nighttime, we gotta fight back.
Yep.
Then they win. Second night is when they find out that the capital's on fire.
That was at the end of the first day. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right.
This is the second day, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Because then they have the fight on the mountain pass.
And then they rest in the forest for the night? Third night was when Rafiki showed up.
Yeah, Rafiki. I love how we're just calling him
Japanese Rafiki.
Japanese Rafiki.
That's when he showed up. So I think it's been 3 days now, since he said.
So backup should be showing up soon?
Maybe in the next episode.
Hopefully. I don't want to see anything bad happen to Jinzaburo and everyone else, but at the same time, this is war. Bad things are going to happen. We already
showed that they're not afraid to kill off characters last episode.
Yep.
Yashiro was his name?
Yajiro, yes.
Yajiro, yeah.
That sucked. And something I forgot to mention about that was Jinzaburo cut off his head and gave it to Teruhi to give her to Barry. One of the things she said is his head is still warm, pretty much. Unlike her father and brother, there wasn't any.
Which I don't know. I guess that's an ancient Japanese tradition, maybe?
Yeah, I was thinking, is that some historical significance there? I was actually curious about that. I forgot to look into it more, but that was one thing that did strike my curiosity. So, one last thing about Angolmois, at least from me, I noticed that some people on Kitsu and places like that are saying that they were not a huge fan of the show, specifically because of the filter that's on the screen.
Oh, I love that.
I don't understand it either. It's
one of my favorite things.
It's kind of a mundane thing, I personally think, to get upset about.
Yeah.
Some people were dropping it. That'd be like dropping Gurren Lagann just because of the art style, which people did, but all the same.
I think they actually did drop that, episode 4.
Oh god, but episode 4 wasn't a good... Episode 4 was not a good episode of Gurren Lagann,
I think a lot of people actually dropped it at that point. But don't talk about it the whole time.
Yep.
That's all for Angolmois this week. Next up, what are we talking about?
Asobi Asobase. All I have to say is a lot of shit happened this episode.
Yeah,
we're not going to get into all of it.
The fact that an old character showed up immediately after we said they weren't going to show up.
Yeah, this is the second week in a row we've been wrong about that, so I'm just going to drop all pretense and just say, maybe people will show up. Maybe they won't. Just
maybe the Shogi Club president will show up.
Oh, God. And she's all, like, in cast, or even looks like something out of a Japanese horror anime or something, where she's, like, all twitching towards them.
Didn't they say... I could have swore I remembered something about them saying, like, her recovery time in one of the episodes.
In one of the skits, they were, they did estimate her recovery time.
Yeah, so maybe she'll come back.
Maybe. But, getting right into the nitty-gritty of this episode... We get to see, once again, just how crappy of people and kind of how stupid these girls are, really. Because Aozora shows up again. That's the character who shows up. I didn't think she was going to show up again. She's back.
She?
Nah.
I'm pretty sure it's a guy.
Me too. But... So Aozora brings up something called the Banana Papers, a really weird name for a document, by the way.
Banana fish.
Yeah, banana fish, banana papers. Coincidence?
Banana girl. Bananas this season.
Banana?
Banana. Oh god, I've never seen it. I've seen the first episode of that show.
It was cute, but I didn't want to see any more of it.
Not a lot of substance to it.
But anyway, so... The banana papers are basically this ledger that the student council president is using for blackmail. As far as we know.
I wonder if they're called banana papers because of banana is a shape of a human organ that might be on a male.
That's possible.
Maybe,
but I don't know. That might be a bit of a stretch. I can't confirm you're wrong. But I also can't confirm you're right. But anyway, so the banana papers are basically used by the student council president as a means of extorting people. It holds all the school's juicy secrets. Mm-hmm. And Aozora wants the Pass Club specifically to use them. To find them and steal them. Now, this makes Kasumi go into Phantom Thief mode.
Oh, yeah, I love it. She's so adorable.
Kasumi is best girl in this show.
I don't know, I kind of like Olivia.
Really? You like Olivia? I like Kasumi. I think she's adorable, and seeing her get into her Phantom Thief persona was great.
She's definitely adorable. Yeah. She was so gung-ho about it. Like, you could tell she wasn't, like, screaming, like, let's do this, but, like, every part during the conversation, she tried to slip in something about
leaving in a calling card, or how she even has her uniform, which is basically just, like, a traditional, like, top hat, cape, and a mustache.
It's the old school Phantom Thief.
Yeah, kind of like Arsène Lupin, or something like that. But, so Aozora buys them off with the following. She gives Olivia a sumo wrestling figurine. She gives Kasumi Conversational English for Dummies, a book. And Olivia's like, there's no way you're going to buy me off. Not Olivia. Hanako, sorry. Yeah. Hanako is like, there's no way you're going to buy me off. I have way too much willpower. It's like, here's some nail polish from the dollar store. And immediately takes it.
Basic bitch.
Hanako is worst girl, I think.
Yeah.
Hanako is worst girl.
I love her. I want her to be happy, but
she is worst girl. Yeah. So they infiltrate the school at night, and we get to see the return. Speaking of characters making a return appearance, we get to see Hanako's stupid demon outfit.
Oh, God.
It's so bad.
It's like a demon bumblebee.
Yeah, with that's purple and yellow, and it just looks bad. Kasumi's in her Phantom Thief outfit. Hanako's in that abomination, and Olivia's just in her school uniform.
Yeah. Also, she still has her bangs messed up.
Yeah, her bangs are still messed up.
Yeah. And then like they lead into my favorite scene of the episode, just where they find the book, and then the class president shows up again, and she's like, oh, I forgot something. And then they walk over, they're hiding under the desk. Class president walks over, and she's like, that chair's not where it was before. And then it's just absolute quiet. And they just slowly pull it out of their desk. She's like, oh, God, this is terrifying.
I'm out of here. But we forgot to mention the stag beetle that Hanako
saved. Oh, how could I forget?
God, that thing is terrifying.
That thing's awesome. It's ripped.
Oh my God. And they actually show like a bit of a training montage. The stag beetle is actually drinking egg yolks with a straw. It's just taking the Rocky approach.
Oh, I love it. That's my new favorite character in this show.
Fatomas, I believe his name was, or something.
Phantomas.
Yeah, Phantomas.
Yeah. He picked a lock.
He picked a lock! Yeah. And Olivia and Kasumi are just befuddled, like, there is no way that should have worked.
Yeah, why is... Also, that's more about Hanako's childhood. Like, that was just a normal thing for Hanako, I guess. Like, she didn't even think it was ridiculous.
Like, they tried... While Kasumi was trying to slip in Phantom Thief stuff, Hanako kept saying, we gotta use the stag beetle. And then, of course, there's the, my butt needs to breathe.
Ugh, God, gross. It just farts right in Olivia's face.
Oh my God, poor Olivia. And then it's just like, but I can't let it be too loud.
Yeah.
And so, the last really funny part of this episode is when they were looking through the banana papers, and they see a lot of the school scandals. Pretty much all of them are just because of the Past Club and how much terrible stuff that they've done. Like the compound fractures of the Shogi Club president, the
oh yeah, that's what we learned in the recovery time.
Yeah, the perverted teacher who almost drank pee, but he got poisoned because of potassium cyanide.
Which, didn't he, like, just lick the pool water?
Well, apparently he started doing that with other things.
Oh, yeah,
and so that's why... And that was apparently a very obvious nod to Conan in a couple ways, because one, the silhouette of Conan, two, a rendition of the Detective Conan theme, and then three, potassium cyanide is apparently a very common thing used in Conan as far as its murders go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but... He got poisoned because of it. Because he's an idiot.
Because one truth prevails.
Yeah, because he wanted to drink high school girls' pee. I guess.
No, that was completely wholesome interaction, alright? He wanted to lick it to determine if they were okay.
Sure, let's go with that. But then they go to the, they find out, or Olivia finds out what everybody's been saying about her horrendous body odor.
Oh yeah, that's such a good bonding moment.
It was. It was actually a very sweet moment.
Even if it was...
For these shitty people.
Yeah, gross and...
It's like, don't worry. It's like, there are perfumes out there that exist that can complement your natural scent that guys will love. And don't worry, we've gotten used to it.
Yeah.
I love you guys. Let's go get ice cream!
Yay!
And they go and get ice cream, leaving the ledger on the desk, and Rex and I were just looking and going, wait, are you leaving it there?
Yeah.
Apparently that wasn't just our thought, because Alzora sneaks in behind them shortly afterwards. It's like, are they seriously just leaving here and going and getting ice cream? Whatever. So Alzora rips out a page, and then takes a lighter to it and burns it, and just says, girls are so stupid, pretty much. And so, yeah, Alzora, more likely than not a guy.
Yeah. And then there was, the fanfiction part.
Yeah, that was pretty funny,
And,
but wasn't particularly memorable in comparison to the first half. And then them trying to help Kasumi with her home ec project, which they basically made her the plight of big-breasted girls, pretty much. Nothing cute ever fits.
Oh yeah, I remember my days when I was a big-breasted girl.
Is there something you want to tell me?
What's next up? Talking about Attack on Titan. You got to see Erwin put his plan into action.
Yeah, one of the first quotes that I think was really cool about this episode was just Erwin just talking to the government about why the Scout Regiment is necessary. Because the Scout Regiment is like a spear. And if you dismantle the Scout Regiment, humanity would lose its spear against the Titans. And so I just thought that was a really cool parallel that Erwin was trying to do in order to plead his case and plead his innocence, pretty much. Yeah,
the thing there is that they know he's right. Mm-hmm. They know that he's their first line, the Scout Regiment is their first line of defense against the Titans. But they are... they already have their own plans. They talked about, all we have to do, the vessels here, or all we have to do is, even if the Titans do attack, we just have to hold out until they eat Eren.
Until they eat Eren. Yeah, because that has officially been confirmed as their plan.
So they're like, well, even if the Scout Regiment does defend us, they're still more of a threat to our authority.
Mm-hmm. They know he's right, but at the same time, Erwin isn't so much interested in... I don't think he's so much interested in just preserving humanity as much as he is trying to prove his point.
He's trying to spread the truth.
Yeah,
that's his end goal. Is he wants everyone to know the truth,
even if it costs humanity. Even he admits, even if it costs humanity as a whole their lives, because he is talking about it and says that even though the government is corrupt, they are keeping humanity alive.
Yeah, that was so the scene. My favorite scene in the episode was when the military person comes busting into the room.
Oh, yes!
It's like, the Titans attacked! The Titans attacked! It's the Colossal Titan and the Armored Titan broke down the walls!
They broke down Hall Rose, everybody's panicking, what are we gonna do?
Good acting performance.
Exactly. Bluff check success.
Yeah. And then the nobles are like, well, shut the walls, close them off, we're not going to save anybody.
We're not going to save any refugees.
Which pays off for Erwin. That was his big gamble.
Yup.
He told Pixis that if they say that if the nobles say they want to save everyone, and they want to, just save as much of humanity as possible, then Erwin said he'd be fine with just
being executed.
Yeah, just being hung there on the spot. But if the nobles were to put themselves before humanity, then Pixis said that he would work with him to help overthrow the current false government. And
that was exactly what Pixis said after it was revealed that it's like, that was a false alarm, and you acted exactly the way that we were expecting. If you had went with the intention of trying to save as many people as possible, then we would have worked with you, and I would have been totally fine watching Erwin hang.
And Pixis even said that he would have been fine having him and all of his subordinates being hung for insubordination.
But I think what was also really cool is just like, officially the coup d'etat has begun. The coup d'etat finally is underway.
Kind of realistic.
Yeah.
Because they're talking about how the people might not necessarily settle in easily.
Because being under military rule now. Because the current government, the pseudo-monarchy, nobility thing here is now just being completely swept under the rug. And now there's just military presence.
I loved when the nobles were freaking out and they kind of kick at the guy in the throne. I forget what his name is.
King Fritz.
What they called him.
Yeah.
They just called him like some name.
Yeah.
And he's kicked at him. He's like, oh, is it time to eat?
That was actually hilarious because this whole time we're just looking at him thinking he's looking down on everybody. He's got such an intense, imposing figure to him.
Just like he just seems asleep the whole time.
He just seems to be so just completely above reproach and so confident in himself that he's detached and nothing could possibly happen. Turns out, he's just a senile old man who's half asleep. Oh, is it time for dinner yet?
I feel like he just was actually asleep. He's just asleep with his eyes half open.
That I wouldn't surprise me.
Kind of like a cat. Like when you look at a cat and sometimes they're asleep and they have this
their eyes are open and they look like crazy demon creatures. But I think another really cool thing is when the military just storms in, and it's like, don't you understand? It's like, you're committing treason. Funny thing about soldiers, they're more likely to follow their superior officers than they are the crown. And I thought, again, that was a really cool moment. Just, again, the military.
Slap Emperor Palpatine's face up there. It's treason, then.
Oh my god. But the last thing we see in this episode, why the hell is Eren in an ice cave? Where is this ice cave? Let me guess. That's something that is revealed in the manga.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so all we know is that Eren is in somewhat bondage gear. He's shirtless.
He's in a cave. He's tied up.
He's got a gag.
He's got a gag so he can't bite himself.
Yeah.
His hands are tied up.
Yeah.
Or his hands are wrapped up so he can't scratch himself. He's pretty much put in a position where he can't cause himself physical harm in any way, so he can't shift into a Titan.
Exactly. And just again, ice cave. Like where the hell is the ice cave?
So much an ice cave.
That's what it looks like. It looks like an ice cave.
It's the lighting.
Yeah. Honestly. But then the episode ends when Historia walks down the staircase, and then he looks, and it's just like, Historia?
And he doesn't say anything. He just thinks it.
Yeah, just Historia. But I think another really cool quote here was that the lone choices of a few change the fate of humanity entirely. Again, a lot of really cool quotes this episode that especially that one, because it was just a bunch of people who just decided, we're kind of sick of this. We know that there's something wrong. We have to stand up and do something. Because even the journalists, when they it was announced that King Fritz was basically a fake, it's like, before they can do anything, quick, print out the truth as quickly as possible.
Part of what you said about the quotes, The voice acting in the show is fantastic.
Yeah, yes.
Like, they deliver all their lines with so much passion.
Yeah.
And it helps kind of give you that...
Immersion?
Immersion, yeah. It helps you kind of distance yourself from reality and immerse yourself in the show a lot more.
A lot of people apparently are complaining about how the show doesn't have nearly enough action. There's barely any Titans or anything like that. My opinion, this is the best damn season so far.
Yeah.
Like, the first season was good because there was a lot of action. It really got your blood pumping and stuff like that really high. Second season was kind of developed a little bit into the mystery aspect, but again with some blood pumping moments. But this season has been really slow and methodical, and I think there's a purpose to that. With the exception of, once again, the epic Levi, like, going through the streets.
That was like the eye catch.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
But
it's really good writing.
Yeah.
Like, they made the first season really actiony to, like, catch attention and kind of get you, to pull you into this world and show you how dire everything could be. Mm-hmm. And then they've slowly started, letting off the gas, let everything kind of just coast along, slowly progress into the more political intrigue, human-on-human conflict.
Yeah.
Which, like you said, is the best part.
Yeah, because in every, zombie story ever, it's never the zombies that are the biggest threats. They're always there, they're always ever present, they're always dangerous, but they're not the biggest problem. No. The biggest problem in most zombie stories is humanity itself. Humanity does the most damage to themselves.
It's always greed.
Yeah, always humans just being assholes. Now, we're going on to Banana Fish. All I have to say is, for starters, Max has a very cute son and a crazy ex-wife.
That was a cool scene. It was cool seeing more of Max.
Yeah.
More of Max's past.
Yeah, he has a pretty good relationship with his son. His son is adorable, but his wife pulls out a shotgun as soon as he shoots
at him a couple times, almost kills him.
Yeah, because we see Ash and company just driving down California streets. You see Shorter and AG checking out some chicks,
some rollerblader chick.
Yeah, and then you see Max just getting sick. It turns out the reason he's sick is because he's just nervous to see his ex-wife.
And he's terrified.
And for good reason, she pulled a shotgun on him. But, but yeah.
They have a cool little moment, and Max, leaves a little baseball
glove, yeah.
For his son's birthday present. And
yeah.
His wife kind of him and his ex-wife have a kind of little moment of understanding.
We don't really know what caused their falling out, but yeah, I'd like to see more of that in upcoming episodes, what actually caused that to happen, but I don't know, the history's already there.
I think it was that Max... I'm assuming Max probably investigated something that got him into trouble.
Yeah.
And then he ended up going to jail for it, which probably pissed off his ex-wife.
Probably.
Or current wife. I'm pretty sure it's his ex-wife.
Yeah. It seems like ex-wife to me.
And she's just pissed that he chose his job over his family.
That's probably it, actually.
But then, everybody moves on, and it was, you hear a cool little thing that wasn't their original plan to stop by, but everyone was like, alright, this is fine. Let him see his son.
Yep. And that was actually it was just a really nice little detour that we got to see. And then, back to the plot, they go to Dawson's address, or the address that Ash got at the beginning of the series. And they go there, and there are these guys there that are trying to kidnap somebody. Ash and company immediately give chase and just say, stop it. They actually get him to drop the guy.
Which, was that a setup?
I'm almost certain it was a setup.
Who, I guess it could have been another family.
Yeah.
I think they probably just waited until the gang showed up and then enacted that scene.
Because the person they rescued claimed to be Dawson's son. Mm-hmm. Or adopted son, rather.
Dawson being the red-haired guy.
The red-haired guy with glasses who was probably the chief manufacturer of the drug.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, the gang finally figured out what we'd known for a few episodes. Banana fish is a drug.
I thought they were going to say, banana fish isn't a person. Banana fish isn't a drug. And then they're going to like say, oh, banana fish, it's actually the name of a boat or something like that. It's actually just a fish.
But it's revealed that this kid is actually the person who was named at the end of last episode, Yut Lung.
Yeah, he's masquerading as Yao Si.
Yup. Which actually, kind of funny aside, is that they are looking at Yut Lung and they say, he kind of looks like AG.
Oh, yeah. Like, you're Asian, right?
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
It's like that Chinese guy kind of looks like that Japanese guy.
Yeah, it's, again, borrowing on that whole tired stereotype.
It's a different time.
It was...
Does the show take place like the 90s? 80s?
Well, they have cell phones and stuff, but the original series took place in the 80s.
Oh, so they might have done gave it the whole, like, Parasite treatment?
Yeah, I'm pretty much exactly that. Like, it was made in the 80s, but they kind of adapted it for a more modern audience, but still kept that joke in, because why not? So, Ash manages to, we figure out that Ash, on top of being a skilled gunfighter and a skilled fist fighter as well, he's also a skilled computer hacker.
Yeah. And he's got it all.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, like, it doesn't feel like they're pulling it out of their ass.
No.
Like, it feels like Ash went through a lot of shitty stuff, but he had a lot of, like, different passions. He had a lot of time to just do stuff when he wasn't being raped.
Yeah, exactly. And, unfortunately...
lots of escapes.
Yeah, probably. That would make the most sense. He just had a bunch of different stuff to divert his attention to. But it's actually funny because in the episode he uses a cracking software to help crack the code. Apparently this is something that people are kind of ticked off about because in the manga he was able to do it by himself without a cracking software and is apparently later revealed to have like an IQ that's pretty much genius level.
I guess it's...
So they're worried that it's like, are they making him dumber? There's no reason for him to just use a cracking software.
It's kind of like what they did with the cell phones, is bringing it into the future because if he has cracking software... It's less time.
Yeah, probably.
It's not that he can't do it. It's just he saves time, and it's easier that way.
Yeah, but the best part of this episode, I think, was just a moment between Ash and AG. Basically Ash saying, "You're just gonna weigh us down. Get the hell out of here." Pretty much. He says it nicer than that, but that's pretty much what it amounts to. And then the two of them talk a little bit about it. It's like, I'm really happy that you stuck along with me for this much time, though, at least, because you're the first person that wanted to save my life that didn't want something else in return.
Yeah, because he originally just kind of wanted to get Ash, or get AG. Ash wanted to get AG to leave, just to keep AG safe. And after AG started, he told him to get out, you'll just be weighing us down. AG started getting really sad, and then Ash kind of felt bad. So
yeah,
it's like, no, actually, you're cool.
It's like you're a good kid. It's like you're a good kid, even though you're older than me.
Yeah.
But we then get to see that Shorter is unfortunately being used as a double agent here, which finally the answer to what the hell is happening in the intro is starting to pan out a little bit.
The hand grabbing Shorter was Yut Lung.
Was Yut Lung, and the reason for that is because Yut Lung is holding Shorter hostage, or rather,
he's holding
his sister hostage.
He's holding his sister, and he's kind of giving him a guilt trip of, are you going to choose your friends over your own people?
Yeah, are you going to choose this random white kid over your own people? And then Shorter gets really pissed off because he's all like, I used to look up to people like you. I used to think that there was honor and decency among the Lee clan, which is the name of the triad group, I guess. That's what I'm going to keep referring to them as. The Lee clan, though, he looked up to him, and I'm pretty sure that's why he kind of became a street punk in the first place, because he believed in that sort of idealistic idea of honor and decency and stuff like that. Yeah. But then he realizes with all the underhanded tactics they're employing, it's like, you're no better than Golzine. And Shorter pulls a knife on him and wants to kill him.
He almost does, yeah.
Yeah.
We got to see a little bit of... I think that Yut Lung was probably second-guessing himself after Shorter gave him that whole speech. Because he had a moment of just sitting there with this kind of perplexed look on his face.
Yeah.
Thinking that, I'm assuming he's thinking that maybe we are...
Yeah.
Especially when you compare him with Golzine.
Yeah. Oh, God. Golzine's horrible.
Maybe we are like those people, because he's holding an innocent person hostage just to get their way.
Exactly, and it's horrible.
So maybe Yetlong will, come around, but I don't know. I wouldn't be upset either way.
And then the last image on this episode is we see, I think, the Lee clan's men. I'm pretty sure it's the Lee clan's men moving in on Max's son and ex-wife.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Which I guess kind of makes that beginning part a little more important to the plot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because they think that Shorter's not going to listen, so they want to get more leverage.
You think that they're going to also try to get Max to turn in Ash and stuff like that? That would probably make sense. They just want to get rid of as many of Ash's allies as possible to isolate him.
And they just want to get more chips on the table so they can
basically give Golzine what he wants, and that's Ash back alive.
Which I do not want to think about what would happen to Ash if he got back to Golzine.
Ugh, God, that's horrendous.
Yeah.
But anyway, so next up, what is it?
Next up is Chio School Road. So let's see. During this episode, we had the magazine skit, we had the ass battle skit, and then the tiny skit at the end with the old lady.
Yep. So we have the magazine skit. You guys ever try to buy something that you were embarrassed to buy and you were just wanting to get in and out as quickly as possible? But that was pretty much what happened here. Except it was made worse because Chio wants to buy her Western gaming magazine, but it's no longer being sold at her convenience store. It's being replaced with a bunch of BL gaming magazines.
Disgusting boys love magazines.
And she at first is kind of looking down on it, but then she sees something she's kind of into.
God, it's so weird. She has such weird tastes.
She really does.
She passes through all the pretty boys, and then
it's like, this guy looks like an assassin.
She comes to a page with this old guy,
this old grizzled man who looks like an assassin. He's got a scar on his face.
He's sitting there no way, no, they can't possibly do that. Not with this guy. And he turns the pages, and the old guy's just like, oh yes.
And then that prompts her to go, okay, I gotta buy this for research.
Immediately has this crazy blushy face.
Yeah, it's just I gotta get this for research. So she's getting ready to buy it, and then who's at the cash register but Ando?
Yay, Ando's back.
Ando's back again.
Ando.
Yeah, Ando's a great character.
He's so wholesome.
He is. And she's trying to play the game. It's like, okay, I just got to make it so that he doesn't see what I am buying. Oh, here's a free magazine. I'm just going to take this and put it on top of it so that he'll just scan the barcode and won't see what's in it. And then...
long story short, she tries the magazine. The Ando grabs the magazine out of the way, so she's like, I need to hide it with something else. So she puts chocolate over the guy's nipples.
And then it's like, wait, that's how made it even worse. And then she gets a bunch of them and then puts them on his chest.
She buys it all. She goes off. Is about to leave the store. And
thinks that she's made it off scot-free.
Ando comes up and he's like, hey, you should put that dirty magazine in a bag because I'm not going to judge you, but other people probably will. And this more wholesome moments from Ando is just like, you can be whatever you want to be into. I'll never think of you any differently. And he bags it for her and hands it to her. And
she's just like, thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
Just kind of meekly, and then just walks away totally defeated. Mm-hmm. And then...
in the butt battle.
Oh my god. Or as it's referred to, the ass off.
Oh yeah.
And then it's just is she challenging me to an ass off? And then this girl who's from a rich school, kind of a bit of a blonde lolly character.
Younger, I think.
Yeah. It's yes, I challenge you to an ass off. It's oh my god, she actually said it.
Which just boils down to taking your fingers and sticking them inside someone's butt.
Yeah, just try basically what Kakashi does in Naruto, except the way they were taking it was way too extreme.
And just Chio and this little girl having this epic shonen
duel
battle, trying to put their fingers in each other's butts.
And Chio's like, wait, we're surrounded by people. How do we
suddenly get fighting, and then they have dashing out into the middle of the park with surrounded by all the people, which the mom and her kid is there again.
Once again, they just kind of show up in the background. And then they start fighting a little bit. Chio gets ready to tackle her, and then actually ends up taking a stick up the ass.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because Chio's like, I cannot... There's no way for me to win in this situation, because there's this younger girl. I will look like a dangerous person if I try to put my finger up this little girl's butt. So yeah, she does a cool move, swings her around and just runs backwards and then runs all the way back into a branch. Oh, it's just made me wince so much just looking at it, because that had to go a foot in her butt. It's like, oh god. And then she was donezo after that.
And then when crazy pseudo Yuri shit starts happening, who shows up but Kushitori?
Oh yeah, because
she hurt and her own.
The little girl's about to finish her off.
Yeah. And then Kushitori shows up. It's like, I heard a delightful yelp.
Yeah.
Or in her exact words.
I heard a woman screaming.
And then she spread eagles her ass trying to taunt.
Yeah.
Trying to taunt this girl into putting her fingers up there. It's like, I put my fingers up many an ass in my day, but...
Yeah, this I don't know about this one. It's weird. And then she goes through this whole speech saying, you're a woman. You should value yourself and be a little more aware of your figure or whatever.
It's something. And just don't do so many perverted things. Yeah. And to me, I'm thinking... You're the one saying this! You have no right to say this! That's
the little girl runs off.
Flips him off, too, by the way.
I think they censored that, that's right.
Yeah.
And then there's a tiny little skit at the end that was just an old lady sitting there, and they're like, oh, she's sad and alone.
It's like, why do they think that she's alone? It's just...
They give her a whole backstory in their heads.
It's like, maybe she used to come here all the time with her husband, and they used to watch the sakura trees bloom, and then as time progressed, he passed away, but they just kind of built over her memories, so it's just her way of preserving them.
But no, she was just a shitty old lady mooching off their free Wi-Fi so she could play mobile games.
And the cashier comes out and says, it's like, if you're going to use our Wi-Fi, it's for customers only. Go and buy some coffee or something. And then, once again, just this show proves that people are just terrible.
Mm-hmm. Chio and
Monona. Alright. Hanebado. What did you think of this week's episode?
I like it.
Yeah.
I like that they are putting a lot of emphasis on Hanasaki's situation.
Agreed.
It was really cool how they had her kind of get better for a little while, and she was playing with everyone in the park, and she's like, yeah, I want to play badminton. It's fun. I want to play. And then as soon as Connie kind of brings back that PTSD about her mom by saying, Mom doesn't need you anymore. She's got me. And they split. Ever since that moment, and they head home from the training camp, Hanasaki's been kind of an asshole.
Okay, that is the one thing that I pointed out in this episode, just something I wrote in my notes. God, Hanasaki's eyes are scary.
Oh, yeah.
They are scary, 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 scary. They are
very good yonder ass.
Yeah, they don't belong in this show, but it's so creepy and just really fascinating to watch though. But we get to see Hanasaki go up against her old rival Karuko, which one of the first things that
pink hair anime girl.
Yeah, one of the first things that Karuko does, it's like, she throws her a handkerchief, which the first thing that I think of is, thanks, Mean Joe.
Here you go, kid.
But it's like, here, you might want this handkerchief so you can wipe away your tears later after I beat you. Just that sort of overconfident thing. And we get to see more of Karuko and what she's like as a player. I've seen a pattern in my head that'll secure my victory.
Yeah, she's like a robot.
Yeah, just the hours and hours of practice that she's determined what pattern works best for certain people. Yeah. And as long as she can get people in that pattern, she'll win.
She kind of makes you think of who was it Yuki in the last episode?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but her name...
Aragaki's friend.
Yeah, Aragaki's friend, Riko.
Riko, yeah.
Yes, Riko.
She's kind of it feels like kind of the same kind of style.
Yeah.
Riko kind of did that, but Karuko trains a lot harder.
Yeah.
And she memorizes all the different techniques that people can do, the possible outcomes of every different situation.
Yeah, and she also has just been perfecting her own technique so that she can gauge where the shuttle will go at what time, things like that.
This is I think a really important thing to get people engaged in sports anime, like you gotta have not necessarily over the top superpowers, but you gotta have like these character types and like, oh, this is their specialization and this is their specialization.
Yeah, something that get you invested in that character. Well, and like Aragaki, it's like, oh, she's tall and strong and she has a lot of power in her swings. Hanasaki's like quick and nimble and able to do some counters, which they actually point out she uses counterattacks pretty much as her specialty.
Waits till people put like a lot of weight into a smash or something, and then
we'll be off balance. Yeah. Exactly. So throughout this, Kaoruko loses her first match 21-17 in her first match, or first game rather, against Hanasaki, and of course the girls on her team are saying, she shouldn't have talked such a big game, which I kind of agree. I think that Kaoruko deserved to get knocked down a peg or two. Yeah. But
and then it was like one of my favorite scenes in the episode was where Hanasaki takes her hairband breaks.
Yeah, her hairband breaks.
She's like, hey, do you want... One of her teammates was like, hey, do you want a replacement? She's like, no, I have something.
And then...
she takes the napkin that Kaoruko gave her.
Yeah, and then uses it as like a pink hair tie, kind of exactly like her mom used to wear.
Yeah, so that's what it looked like. It was just interesting.
And then,
I would like to see her mom's reaction to that.
Oh man, but what was even scarier is after Kaoruko loses the second match, 21-16, she does the coldest thing. Hanasaki does like the coldest thing I think I've ever seen her do so far. Just like, here, you want this back? Yeah. Just kind of this creepy ass smile on her face.
Okay. You sure you don't want to eat shit from down there, Mr. Loser in Loser Town?
Oh God. Hanasaki has just gone completely off the rails.
In the episode with Rico, Rico said, like, oh yeah, I only made it to like the second round last year in the tournament. And then all Hanasaki says to that is, looks like it's going to be tough for you. And she just leaves, just walks out of the room.
Oh yeah.
It's like, jeez.
I'd almost forgotten about that. But then what's even more interesting is that we get to see Hanasaki like walking away and going back to the room, going back to the showers or changing room or whatever, and they were saying there's something called respect for your opponents, like because she starts bad mouthing her Kaoruko after she lost, and it's just like all it matters is if you win, pretty much. That's all that matters, which I'm assuming was something drilled into her head by her mother.
Yep.
But God, I hope she improves over the next few episodes.
I think a lot of the focus on the show is just going to be on Hanasaki trying to get over
her trauma
problems. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the next episode, what we're going to see is finally a match with Aragaki in it.
Finally,
like it's I think the only time we've seen Aragaki play a serious match was against Hanasaki in a practice.
I think so. Yeah.
It's like. It's such a cool character. I want to see more.
Yeah, I want to see more of Aragaki as well. But because every time it's like, Aragaki's got a match. Let's not show that.
Just skip over someone.
The first thing it was the creepy ass teacher from one of the schools, and Aragaki was stretching in the hallway, and I kept thinking to myself, it's like, stop checking out her ass, guy. It's like, what are you doing?
I don't actually, after he went back and talked to his team, I don't think he was actually checking out her ass.
No, I know that it was.
He just saw that like it was her attitude and her personality was like I think he thinks it was defeat.
Yeah.
So he walks back and she's like, she's already done.
Yeah, pretty much. Or seems like that she's on her last legs or something. But yeah, again, we get to see Aragaki doing Aragaki things finally. About time.
Next show is Happy Sugar Life.
Happy Sugar Life.
Starts us off with Teacher Man being really upset that Shoko is going to learn the secret as well. And he's like, oh, no one else should know the secret, or our secret, he's calling it now.
Yeah. Which
he's getting more and more obsessed with Sato.
Which you forgot to mention that he gives his impression of what he thinks happened.
Which was really confusing in the beginning. I thought they were just giving us like a little kind of stage play production of what actually happened.
And I was like, okay, is this how we're doing this? Is this how we're doing this?
It's like, oh, Sato killed her aunt and then moved into her place and then kept the girl there because the aunt didn't approve of her love.
Yeah. And then he's like, well, at least that's... but then it broke, and then it's like, well, at least that's my impression of it.
I would not have enjoyed if that was the way they were going to tell the story.
Yeah. I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad it just turned out to be the creepy teacher's deranged psyche. So we get to go to... we get to have Shoko going with Sato to her place. Only thing is that they're met there by the police. Mm-hmm. And Sato takes Shoko not to her own place, but she takes her to her aunt's place, which is like 9 floors below, I think. They're in the same apartment complex. Yeah, they are in the same apartment complex, but the important thing is it doesn't reveal that at first. They're kind of misleading you, thinking it isn't her real place. Or, I mean, they're misleading you into thinking it is the place that she lives with Chio. And
I think that Sato never actually intended to take Shoko to her place. Mm-hmm. At least not first. Because Sato takes her to her aunt's place. Mm-hmm. And then later in the episode she says, like, well, do you still want to be friends with me?
Oh, yeah.
I think that was like her safety net.
Yeah, that was her test.
If Shoko said, of course I want to be friends with you, then I think Sato would have maybe taken her up higher to her own apartment afterwards.
Yeah. I think the really cool thing about that is they were trying to lead you into so much into thinking that, okay, this has got to be Sato's apartment with Chio, because you see her like bending down and getting ready to unlock the little lock that she installed on her door upstairs, but then she just drops her keys.
Yeah, and there's actually no lockdown. Like, it doesn't show us, but I'm pretty sure there's no lockdown there. She makes like a loud thud.
And then she says something to the effect of, this is how she knows I'm home. This is how I'm supposed to signal.
Yeah, she says that in her head.
Yeah, and then the door opens slowly.
Which I expected, like, oh, Shio's going to open the door or whatever.
I was expecting that too, but then we get to see Sato's aunt.
Yep.
Oh my god, Sato's aunt.
She's got so crazy eyes. It runs in the family.
Sato's aunt is probably the most unsettling thing about this series so far.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved how I absolutely adored like how they wrote the character. She's so well done.
She just seems like so far detached from reality. Mm-hmm. It just like what we were thinking before. It's like how come nobody's called the police? And it's like, oh, the police are actually involved now. That's cool. Mm-hmm. But the problem is, I'm thinking to myself watching this. It's like, man, lady, you need professional help. It's like, what? How has nobody reported you in at this point?
I think, like, the room... Because the police came, they're like, oh, there's been some smell coming from the apartment.
Yeah, there's been... Which turns out it was just the teacher trying to send a false flag, I guess. As far as I know.
I don't think...
Because he was sitting around the corner, he's like, yes, I've done it! I've done it!
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to send a false flag to the cops and get her to catch something.
Which it just turned out to be, like...
trash.
But it also, like, it showed, like, a flashback of her mom kind of laying down in that room or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Just, like, when Sato was talking about how her mom used to, like, accept everyone's desires or whatever.
Oh, that was her aunt.
Aunt, yes.
Yes.
So, that's just, like, her dirty room, I guess. Ugh. I don't know.
But her aunt, as far as we know... she is completely freaking nuts.
Yep, she's just gone.
Yeah, she tried to encourage the policeman to hit her in the face, which he didn't do, but then she just starts getting into his head, like saying, being a policeman must be such a hard job. I bet you're lonely. Yeah, she starts basically seducing him. It's like I can make you feel less lonely. Which, to her, like, I think going through Sato's aunt's head, she's thinking that, oh, I genuinely want to make this guy happy. I want him to feel love. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't, like, to her, it's not a bad thing. She wants to, as Sato explained it, she wants to accept everyone's love in whatever way they want to express their love. Whether it's through pain or through sex or whatever. Which definitely explains why Sato has such a twisted perception of what love is. Yeah, she's raised by that thing. Ugh, God. It just makes me wonder as well, what caused Sato's aunt to be this way? Which, by the way, we don't know her name yet. Her name has not been revealed. Sato's aunt. Yeah, it's just her aunt. Creepy McRapey lady. Oh, God. And then they were trying to get the police immediately leave Like the police...
the guy's partner just picks him up and is like, stop that.
It's like, and then we have to get out of here immediately, so they do.
Which, I want to go back and talk about the teacher really quick.
Mm-hmm.
How he was basically just, like, nutting himself around the corner. He's just like, oh, they're about to find out. Ah!
It's like, I want to see her face.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my god.
He's a special boy.
But the most unfortunate thing about the episode is when Sato and Shoko both leave that apartment, and then and Sato confronts her. It's like, you've seen how weird my aunt is. It's like, will you still want to be my friend? And at first, Shoko looks like she's going to say, yes, absolutely, I would never stop that. But then it cuts and she hesitates.
Mm-hmm.
And
she's afraid.
Yeah, she's afraid. And then eventually Sato just kind of takes that. It's like, well, your silence is answer enough. We can go back to being work friends from now on.
Yeah, basically the same thing that she did when Shoko originally tried to get the truth out of her. She just kind of dusted it off.
Yeah.
So Sato's like, well, I tested her. She's not actually my true friend. We can go back to being pretend friends now.
Mm-hmm. And then just walks away. And of course, Shoko is trying to convey that and wants to, but she just can't. She's like breaking down in the middle of the street and crying. It was really sad, actually.
Yeah, because she saw that like kind of horrifying scene about her aunt. Being so uncomfortable.
Yeah, the whole time Shoko was there, I could only imagine. That whole scene just had me like going, oh god, it was so uncomfortable.
So this show does best. Make you uncomfortable.
Yeah, and then... Did anything else happen in the scene?
No, I think that's about it for that episode of this week.
Oh, there was one more thing after the credits. We get to see a flashback of Sato posing for somebody's art. Some guy's art.
Which might be something to do with her getting that apartment.
I imagine so.
Or like paying for the apartment.
I imagine so. It has to be that. And because I can't think of anything else, but hopefully we get to see more resolution from that because... Man, the show's exciting.
Maybe the apartment she's in isn't where she killed the people at? I don't know. Maybe she like killed the people and then rented that apartment out and then moved the people's bodies.
Or the artist is one of the people that she killed.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I imagine that could be the case. But who knows? I'm pretty sure it was like the same apartment because I think we see the number this time. It was like 1265, I want to say.
They showed that her unit is in the same building as her aunt's.
Yeah. Anyway, next up, we have Hero Aka.
Hero Academia.
Yep. All I have to say, the first note that I wrote is, wow, they blew up a field.
What are you talking about?
The testing field, they blew it up, pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
With the simulated disaster crisis.
The whole thing.
Just boom!
Thing explodes off everywhere.
Yeah. And everybody at the testing facility is like, okay, this is to determine how you respond to crisis situations before police and other emergency personnel are able to show up. That's what a hero's job is. Mm-hmm. You need to find as many injured people as possible and assist them and keep them from panicking. And we're going to determine how well you do based on your responses, pretty much.
Which I like I find that societal view interesting where they have heroes, but police officers have higher authority than heroes.
Do they really?
Yeah, because...
Oh, that is true.
The heroes are supposed to, like, work with the police and all that stuff. And at the end, because the police get there, they're supposed to hold off the scene and, like, help everyone until the police get there. Mm-hmm. And the police are supposed to legally take care of the situation.
Yeah, the police and all the other emergency personnel. Yeah, but
so the police have more legal power than heroes.
Yeah, and then we get to see Deku trying his best to be All Might, pretty much, trying to save this injured kid with a smile. And the whole time he's carrying him away and trying to get him to safety, the guy that's playing the injured kid is just like, it's like, wow, you really suck at this. Yeah. You're saying the same things over and over again. Don't worry, I'll save you. That
was a really cool scene. Because we see Deku run up, and he's like, oh, my dad's hurt. He's like, oh, where's your dad? And the kid's like, or the guy is immediately like, no, that's not how you. That's not how you handle the situation. I'm in distress. You need to comfort me first before you ask any other questions. And
check my injuries out and stuff like that.
And then he goes through this little realization of, oh yeah, this is like, even if it's just a test, I need to be giving my all. Like I can't just like every step is a step towards me becoming a hero. I can't just think of this as as just a part of it.
Yeah.
And then he puts on that kind of not really half-hearted, but nervous smile.
Yeah, he's clearly nervous.
Like the smile he always puts on, just saying like, it's gonna be okay.
Yep. And it's just follows the mentality of fake it till you make it. And then he's running away, and we get to catch Uraraka basically staring at his ass. I know that's not what actually happened, but that's kind of what it looked like.
Yeah, it's
check out Deku's ass as he's running away.
It was cool seeing more Uraraka's kind of just realizing that she has feelings for Deku, but she also wants to be a hero. She realizes that she can't be a hero and be in a relationship with, or she can't have these feelings for Deku and also continue on her path for being a hero right now. So she says, I'll put these feelings away.
Yeah, and it's a pretty mature way of looking at it, which, again, just cements it, at least for me, as Uraraka being best girl.
It's surprising to see something like that out of a shonen battle series.
Yeah. Again, like actually somewhat fleshed out romance, other than completely ambiguous ones.
And, most of the things is like, I like him, I really like him. Oh, he's doing more cool things, I like him more.
Yeah.
But, it just goes to show that Uraraka is an actual person.
Yeah, it kind of
she has her own dreams besides being with a boy.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of Winry and Ed from Full Metal Alchemist, because as Winry is kind of seeing Ed grow up and stuff like that and actually sort of become his own person, she kind of starts to notice, was his back always so broad? Just seeing, how much he's actually grown. And that's when she's slowly starting to realize the feelings that she actually has for him, outside of just being his childhood friend. Kind of reminds me of that a little bit. But we get to see Bakugo doing his best.
as a rescuer.
Yeah, oh god. And as soon as Kirishima and Kaminari are following him, he's like, what are you damn extras doing here?
Team Bakugo.
Yeah, Team Bakugo.
and he goes to quote unquote, rescue some people, and they're like, oh, help us, we're in trouble. Save yourselves! It's like, oh, wow. He realized that in an instant there were low priority targets, and we can actually walk away while he can go and save the other people that need help more.
Which, again, I mean, Bakugo is fairly perceptive, so that could have partially been the case, but...
No.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think that
Bakugo is a fairly smart person and pretty capable of figuring stuff like that out.
In the last episode, he immediately got himself caught by the fleshball guy. Well, he's still not very smart. He's got some good instincts, but he's not.
What are you talking about? He's number one in the class academically.
Well, I mean, yeah, but he's not very perceptive, I guess.
Yeah, maybe not.
He goes into a situation with his own problems first and foremost. He thinks most about himself before he thinks about other people.
Maybe, but I don't know. But it's just, and then they're like, well, he did good, but his attitude needs working, so we're going to minus points for that. What did you say?
Essentially threatens them into not docking any points.
Yeah, he completely scares them. He completely scares them, and we also get to see before they do the rescue bit, we get to see the schools interacting with each other a little bit. One of the schools, I think, Shishikura or something like that academy. The one where Cousin It and people are from. Oh, yeah. But it's just I want to establish a good relationship. And they
Shinketsu.
Yeah, Shinketsu. Thank you. Shinketsu Academy, it's I want to establish a good relationship. And apparently that's important because 3 other people say, good relationship, good relationship, good relationship. And apparently they wanted you to think that was important. So let's repeat it a few times. We get to see that. We get to see Wind Guy staring down Todoroki and just saying, "You have the same eyes as Endeavors. I can't forgive you." Stuff like that. And then we see a moment of Uraraka getting jealous of Mei. She's still waving at you. Cammy. My bad. Cammy is just waving at Deku the whole time.
Yeah, he's what's his name? Grape-ish boy.
Oh, Mineta.
Yeah, Mineta. See, Mineta's you saw her naked, didn't you? You saw her naked. How could you? How could you betray us? And this whole time, Kami's over there just waving at him for like 5 minutes straight.
And Uraraka gets jealous, of course. But then then that's what leads in eventually later to the whole Uraraka's revelation that I gotta put these feelings aside for now and work on me.
And just when everybody thought that, because everyone's starting to work together, we see a cool scene where Uraraka's about to run up and try and save a guy, and Yayorozu like launches a stop sign out of her side because she couldn't just put her arm out to stop Uraraka running.
No, she had to use her power, obviously.
And Yayorozu kind of gets a little spotlight showing that, like, oh, this situation we got to be careful because the buildings are very
unstable.
Unstable, and they could fall down if we move something.
Yeah.
So she like pulls her shirt open and shoots like 3 steel beams out of her chest.
Yeah.
and then they end up, working together to save the guy. Everyone's working together. Everything's going great. And then
Deku manages to get the kid back to the emergency station for first aid and everything. And then not long after that, the terrorist attack part of the situation begins.
The villains.
Yeah, the villains, and they're being led by Gang Orca, who is ranked 10 in the Hero Society, but is also ranked 3 in the Heroes That Look Like Villains category.
Which, boy, is Bakugo going to be probably number 1 on that list.
Probably. Heroes That Look Like Villains category. It makes me wonder, if Gang Orca's number 3, who are the first 2? Endeavor's got to be up there. Yeah. So next episode, we're probably going to see the resolution of the terrorist attack and having to see how difficult it is for the heroes not only to juggle trying to rescue a bunch of people, but also to subdue any other threats that come along.
Doing it all at the same time, too.
But yeah, this show has not failed to disappoint me so far. I want to see Deku actually like getting that determination and actually maybe even a fight against Gang Orca. That'd be cool.
Yeah, because he's wasn't his power like loud screams or something like that?
I'm pretty sure his power is the same thing as is like what Tsuyu has with. He can do all the things an Orca can do.
Okay.
And didn't he show up in the filler episode with Tsuyu?
I think so, yeah.
Because
he has like the power to make like loud sonic attacks, and he also is really strong.
Yeah, he's got all the powers an Orca does.
He can eat seals, probably.
Just hope there aren't any people with a seal quirk.
Oh wait, there is.
Oh wait, there is?
The filler guy.
Oh yeah, that's right! Oh my god, there is a guy with a seal quirk.
Yeah. Alright, so that wasn't disappointing, but you know what is disappointing? Holmes of Kyoto. Just the past 3 episodes has just been...
Oh, man. So, Rex, I have a question for you. Is that blood on the ceiling over there?
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
How can they just do that? So, every twice, on this episode, you've probably seen it. Just the part where Ensho shows up and...
Who's now going under the pen name Moria.
Oh, yeah, because...
Moriarty.
He shows up, and they have him and Holmes have a whole showdown, and he essentially pulls a, look over there!
Yeah.
And jumps out and disappears somewhere. So I was like, come on! Come on! I had so much hope for this show in the first 4 episodes, and it's just dashing my hopes at every corner.
Yeah, it's like watching a train wreck in slow motion. Like a couple episodes ago, we saw it derail. Now we're seeing like the metal starting to crunch in and the window starting to break. Now it looks like the debris is starting to scatter out all over the place. Oh my god.
The beginning of the episode was like just a boring, random birthday party for some appraisal guy, and then they had a contest where the author was like, hey, we want to show how Aoi's smart.
Yeah.
Look how smart she is. And they're like, she was perfect. She didn't fail any of the tests.
We didn't get to see like much of her thought processes.
Yeah, exactly. That would have been way more interesting if they showed us why she thought that. But she was just like, right answer. I have the right answer for this one too.
Oh my god. Like, again, I like the idea of Aoi as a character. She's just somebody who has a natural eye for detail. And whereas Holmes had like kind of years of training, but also a little bit of that. And again, it's sort of like kind of fulfilling the whole Watson-Holmes dynamic.
Yeah.
They're both equally intelligent.
It feels like after Aoi resolved the situation with her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend and her friend, the author just had nothing else for her after that.
So they were trying to pad it. So yeah, they were trying to pad out her character. Which, again, it would have been a lot more interesting if we saw, like, okay, So this is where I saw this kind of out before, which they did that with two things, and coincidentally they happened to be two antiques that Holmes had showed her in the past, so she had already knew that.
Mm-hmm.
But oh my god, it was just so disappointing. And then Yanagihara, I believe his name was, is like, so we have to actually bring up a certain appraiser to appraise this and see if it's to see if it's a counterfeit or not. And this is our final test. And so Holmes, of course, is supposed to go up there and determine whether or not this painting is a counterfeit. After looking at it for a little while, he determines, yes, it is a counterfeit. And because the way the light, it's supposed to be one of the best depictions of natural sunlight in any painting, but I got none of that with this. Which, again, was actually a kind of cool little insight. We get to see a little bit more into Holmes and figuring out, actually figuring out his gut instinct rather than just MacGuffining his way through everything like he did the last episode.
And who would have known that the person who made this painting was actually Ensho all along? It's so fucking obvious. There's no more mystery in this show.
It's a mystery show without any mystery.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they were trying to paint it off. It's like, oh, it's this guy Moria. And then, because, again, it's supposed to be short for Moriarty.
Which I like that little detail. It's cool.
I mean, it would have been cool. It would have been cool if they didn't, literally spell it out for you, though.
Yeah.
Because Akihito, his whole thing is just to be, it's like, oh my god, it's like Moriarty.
He's like the audience.
Oh, wow! It's like, oh my god, this show.
I'm waiting for the next episode just to be, there's a clue on the screen, and Holmes looks at the screen. Can you see the map? And then he sits there for 5 seconds.
Oh, god.
Ding, ding, ding. Good. There it is.
No shit.
Very good.
Oh my god. And the thing about that, and let's get into the final confrontation with let's get into the final confrontation of this episode between Moria, as that's what I'm going to start calling him now, Moria and Holmes. They find out where he's hiding. It's at this temple with the window of enlightenment and the window of something or other, or the window of Strit.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And
who cares?
Yeah, who cares? I've basically lost attachment in this series so far. But they go there by handing him a mirror. It's just like, oh, okay, so it's kind of a link to this. And again, that could have been interesting. Here's the problem. Ensho decides to show up again and front load us with a bunch of information about his stupid backstory.
I'm an orphan! Ah!
I'm an orphan. My dad beat me, and he was an artist, and I decided to take up counterfeiting and then join the priesthood, which we already knew that he joined the priesthood 2 episodes ago.
We
didn't need more of this.
Pointless backstory.
The term that we use, and then the dialogue just felt so forced. So
it just felt like, obviously they were all reading off a script.
Yeah.
That's how it works. But it felt like they weren't acting. They were just like, oh no, it's Ensho, he's back again. Holmes, help. Holmes, you found him. Look over there. Oh no, he got away.
It felt a little bit more acted than that, but it felt like the writers definitely phoned it in. And so I think the voice actors were working with the best they have, but I think the best way that we described it is it felt like counterfeit dialogue.
Yeah. I found it! I solved the mystery! The mystery is that the whole show is counterfeit.
Oh, God. And so with all of our ranting about this, again, I went on Kitsu because I was curious to see what people think about it. And you know what people are complaining about? They're not complaining about this. They're complaining about the fact that Aoi and Holmes are not a couple. Not even kidding. That is what people are complaining about.
No, they don't need that. It would be even worse if they were a couple.
Here's the thing that people are complaining about specifically, because apparently in the they changed stuff from the web version and then the print version, which they released later. In the web version, they were actually already determined to be a couple at some point or another. But in the print version, they changed it to where it seems like Holmes is about to confess or something like that, but then Akihito cock-blocked him, pretty much. Mm-hmm. It's just, again, because Akihito, what purpose do you have for being here? You have no purpose.
I actually like Akihito as a character. I think Akihito is actually my favorite character at this point. He's kind of interesting, and he's got a little bit of a funny charm to him.
But his role has absolutely no merit to it whatsoever. He's just there to kind of just exist. But yeah, that is what people are complaining about. Not the fact that the mystery aspect of the show has taken a dive. Not the fact that...
Which I'm sure a lot of people probably are as well. They're just not, publicly saying it.
But that's exactly the problem. This show has problems that extend far beyond the fact that these two are not a couple. It's kind of a very shallow complaint.
Maybe it works better in the previous version that wasn't a show. Like maybe they were a couple, and I could see it being done well if the writer knew what they were doing. But at the same time, the show's major problem, I think, is that there isn't any time dedicated to actually making a good mystery anymore. Anyways, yeah. First 4 episodes are fantastic. What the show needed is kind of like how in Detective Conan, for instance, they actually dedicate 1 or 2, sometimes more parts to a specific mystery to kind of flesh it out and put out more clues, and then every episode is a mystery.
Every episode of Conan?
Almost every episode of Conan is its own mystery.
I thought that they usually had like 2 or 3 parters on occasion, and they have
not mostly. They do it on occasion, but most of the time it's just mystery of the week kind of thing.
But there's just with this, what this could have dealt with is a little bit better pacing as far as the mystery portions of these shows go, because there isn't much of that, unfortunately, like there was in the first few episodes.
Everything from these past 3 episodes just feels like filler and or really bad storytelling.
Oh God!
So during this last episode, it was really disappointing, but I laughed a lot.
Yeah,
it's really bad. And I'm just going to keep watching it because I've already watched 7 episods.
Might as well finish it.
Might as well ride this out.
Might as well see this train wreck towards the end because exactly. Again, like I said a little bit earlier, the show is like a train wreck that you're seeing in slow motion. Here pretty soon, like we've already seen it derail. We're seeing the steel crunch together and maybe the windows start to break a little bit. Next, we're going to start seeing some debris flying, maybe some people getting flung out. Just complete and total chaos. I want to see how bad this train crash will be.
Yeah, I did the exact same thing with last season with Darling in the Franxx.
Oh my God.
It's just like, it got bad, but it's like, I'm already here. I already bought my ticket. I'm not just going to go home.
I'm going to see how much this freak show actually delivers.
So... I hope it gets better, but even if it doesn't, I'm gonna keep watching it just for the unintentional comedy. Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, it is actually fun to just rant and tear apart the show, kind of. Which, again, I want to emphasize, I like this show. I do. I kind of still like it. I recognize what it could be. Yeah, enough ranting. What are we talking about now?
Overlord 3. We are finally getting to enter Nazarick.
Yay!
Or not really Nazarick.
Yeah, I think it's fake Nazarick.
I'm pretty sure it is fake Nazarick. So
it's like they put a bunch of probably fake treasure on the outside. Because Ians was already saying he was having money problems. I don't think he has enough money to just put treasure there.
Maybe
it was probably like magic, like illusion magic or something.
Maybe, but anyway, so they go there. The workers, they go there and they start exploring the place. And they get to see a bunch of treasure, probably more treasure than any of them has ever seen in their lifetime.
Yeah, a bunch of gold coins and shit.
And so they go there, and they're getting ready to explore this place. The first thing they see is a bunch of skeletons. And then they take them out, no problem.
Yeah, because they're like, skeletons are the weakest undead ever.
And they're kind of laughing and scoffing at this idea.
They were probably put there just to
lure them into a false sense of security, exactly. I imagine.
So they're like, oh man, this must not be that dangerous after all.
And so the workers split up. They decide, okay, we're going to split up into different teams. We're going to explore different parts of the mausoleum, which, again, if D&D's taught me anything, don't split the party. That's a terrible idea. But I guess they're technically their own adventuring parties that are just kind of...
They kind of stick together anyways.
But, no, of course, some of them have to be greedy bastards, like Fu Manchu.
The old guy?
Yeah, the old... I'm just referring to him as Fu Manchu, because that's what he had. So, they decide to leave and start looking around the outskirts, I think. And his exact words is, everyone else can explore it. They'll be like our canaries.
Yeah.
And so
they can sacrifice themselves. And he ends up being like the one that dies first, right?
The combat maids show up. Yeah. and say, welcome to the tomb of Nazareth. And then they get caught in a pincer attack because they end up summoning a bunch of skeletons with magic weapons.
Because the maid said, like, oh, we've been given orders that we can't kill you ourselves. Which I think, like, Ainz wanted to test out the undead, the new undead or something like
Probably.
that. The new undead weapons. Or I think he wanted to test out if he could give them
magic weapons and stuff.
Yeah, that was what they were talking about before.
And so they get... So they give the undead magic weapons, and then this party gets slaughtered.
Yep.
Like
no chance. Like ass whipped immediately.
And I think Fu Manchu, I don't think they kill him. I think they were capturing him and getting ready to take him down to the torture chamber.
They just had a fight. And they're like, well, if they all die, fine. But if any of them survive...
Take them down to the torture chamber.
Take them away, which this episode was dark.
This episode really did get dark.
It kind of... The last few episodes we've had were about, like, the village.
Yeah.
And the introduction of the new city. And...
the introduction of the Empire.
And then you had the people from the village visiting Ainz.
Yeah.
In his castle.
Yeah.
And it was all friendly and all that stuff. And then this episode, you get to realize that Ainz he's still managing a really dark place, even if he seems nice a lot of the times.
Yeah, it's kind of unsettling, actually, because the first thing that he says on the that he says as Momon on the hill is they're all going to die.
Oh yeah, he bluff checks his way out of it.
Yeah. But they should approach with that mentality because this is a newly explored ruin. Nobody's ever seen this. And so he goes in, it's like, I'm going to take a nap. Wake me up later or something. And then he goes in to talk with Nabe, or Narbaral, as he officially refers to her. And I think he says something to the effect of go summon Pandora's actor.
Yeah, he said Pandora's actor will come here and he'll take my place if anything happens.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm assuming, based off the name of Pandora's actor, he can probably change his appearance.
Yeah, which Pandora's actor is a puppet guy.
The one that Nazi puppet guy. He had like a German Nazi outfit on or something. Because Ainz thought that when he was just playing it as a game, he thought, oh, that's awesome. I love that outfit or whatever.
But then he realized it was just like, okay, this isn't cool at all.
Yeah.
But, and so we get to see a montage of a bunch of different people dying in some really messed up ways. Like we see two adventurers get ripped apart by cockroaches.
Yeah,
because they're standing in like this. They get teleported to this really dark room. They can't see anything. Like there's a light in the center, and you see like the silhouette of this creepy bug person, but you don't really see what's going on the floor or anything. It's just like, well, my children are hungry, and then reveal that the floor starts moving. It's a bunch of flesh-eating cockroaches and bugs and shit.
Get devoured.
And it reminds me of the scenes from The Mummy.
I knew you were going to say that.
I
don't like scarabs anymore. I've never seen a scarab, but I don't want to interact with one if I ever do see one.
Yeah, just because of that movie.
Yeah.
But then we see another one where a guy's in a torture chamber with this guy named the Neuronist, and he's like...
Which he is apparently she, I don't know. I think it might have been a girl, actually.
I don't know.
He was either a girl or a guy that was really obsessed with Ainz.
Yeah.
So he was like, oh, Ainz is so magnificent.
Oh my god.
He's getting all these women around him, but I'm really the most attractive one. And he's just like, blah, blah.
And the Neuronist pulls out something that looks like a spiked Q-tip. That's pretty much the best way I can describe it. I don't even want to know where he's going to shove that thing.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
He's saying like, the master who made me had problems with kidney stones.
Oh god!
Kidney stones are passed via the penis.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
I was thinking like the ass or something, but
no.
That's way worse.
Yeah. So he's just gonna jam it up that guy's pee hole, probably. Why? I don't know. Like, I understand the whole feeding the cockroach people. I understand testing out your weapons, or testing out the magic weapons on the skeleton, with the skeleton guys. I don't understand why he's just going to let a guy just be tortured. But maybe to make the guy happy, the torture guy?
Probably.
Maybe he's trying to make his people happy.
I'd say they're trying to build a reputation for the Tomb of Nazareth.
Oh, that's a good point.
like talk about like the numerous adventurers that tried and failed and died horrendously.
Maybe he'll have all this shitty stuff happen to these people, revive them, and send them back.
Yeah, maybe. But who knows? The thing about this episode, though, is that it ends with Foresight, who is miraculously still alive. Oh, wait. Actually, before we get to Foresight, let's talk about Blonde Katana Guy.
Oh, thank God. That was so satisfying to see. Yeah, he ends up like walking up and fighting against
Hamusuke.
Who handily beats him.
Which... Hamusuke...
Taily beats him?
Yeah. So, this guy shows up and he's got like a few elf girls with him, and I'm pretty sure they're like his slaves or something like that.
Yeah, you can see like their ears are clipped.
Oh, God.
At the end.
Yeah.
So he was like abusing him, and he's pretty much like, he wanted to be his own party, but also he has people with him to cast support magic on him.
Yeah, and it's just like, cast enhancement magic on me, and stuff like that. And it was so satisfying to see him go from like this cocky bastard to just a complete 180 with his personality where he starts panicking.
He reminded me of like his facial expressions and everything of Sword Art 2, or Sword Art 1, the second half of Sword Art 1, where what's his name?
Sugo,
yeah, when he's freaking out because she's like, oh, I'll have all these powers. Blah, 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 blah. And he's just getting beaten.
Yeah, but this guy was a little bit more developed than that character, maybe, but...
Nah. I don't think I can get that right now.
But anyway, that aside, so he gets his arms chopped off by Hamusuke, and then he is like, demands that the elf girls, heal him. And they don't do anything. They just stand there. He's just like, why?
They start sneering.
He's just like, why? And then Hamusuke just hits him in the side of the head with his tail and just...
Yeah, it makes his head blow up. And immediately the slaves just run up and go, just start kicking the shit out of him. And they're like, is that like an elven?
Yeah, is that like an elven burying ritual? And the lizard guys who are watching the fight the whole time, because they've been training Hamusuke, they said, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And then we see, getting back to before I went on that tangent, we see Foresight, who is miraculously still alive, go out to the Coliseum, and Aura shows up.
They're like a sweet jump, flip down.
And she pulls out a microphone and is basically pulling the whole boxer announcer. In this corner, we have the guild Foresight, and in this corner, we have the Lord of Nazarick himself and King of the Dead, Ainzul Gon.
I'm really excited to see this.
Oh, God.
I don't want... Foresight is really the only group of workers I really cared about.
Yeah.
The rest of them seem kind of shitty.
Yeah.
But...
I don't know. The guy with the battle axe and stuff.
Oh, yeah, the dwarf guy was cool. Yeah, he seemed alright. I didn't really know much about him, though. But I'm invested in Foresight, and because we got to see Arche's family.
We got to see Arche's family. We got to see the blonde dude with the red highlight and his elven lover.
Mm-hmm. Half elf.
Yeah, half elven lover. And then their
cleric.
Their cleric.
Which
literally just used Turn Undead.
Yeah, he's like, I'll handle this. And I was just like, he's going to use Turn Undead, is he? Turn Undead! I was like, God damn it.
And that's how you know you played a little too much D&D.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to the fight next episode. I don't think... obviously, Ainz isn't going to go all out, because if he wanted to go all out, he could just do the same thing he did to the ogres. Yeah, it makes... You're dead now. I cast the You're Dead spell.
It makes me wonder if that is actually... If the Ainzul Gon we see is actually Ainz, or if it's Pandora's actor posing as Ainz.
Could be.
And Momon is going to come in and save the day, pretty much, and further develop his reputation.
I can see that happening. Actually, that's probably a pretty good point. It probably is.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I don't know if it's Ainzul Gon, really. It could be, but we'll wait and see next episode.
So that makes a lot of sense, because they put a lot of effort into developing this worker group, Foresight, and all of the NPCs that I can think of that they spend a lot of time developing and giving backstory to, they haven't killed off.
Yeah.
Like the Goblin Village with Henry.
Yeah.
The lizard people.
Which they killed and brought back, but...
They only killed 3 of them.
Yeah.
And then they brought him back, yeah.
And then Brain, Unglaus, and Climb.
Yeah, they're all alive. So I think that, yeah, you're right. I think that Momon is going to show up.
Yeah.
With his 2 swords and just...
And save the day.
Yeah, just do the same thing he did with Demiurge.
I'd imagine so, because that seems to be more the thing. Because Ainz's general philosophy seems to be you can catch more flies with honey than you can with vinegar. So
yeah.
He wants to get as many pieces in as many places as possible. And
so maybe he won't bring all the people back. He'll just let all those people die, and then come in as Momo and save the day, and then Foresight will head back and then spread the news about how it's a terrible place.
Maybe. I imagine so. But anyway, that's all we're going to talk about Overlord today.
Mm-hmm.
So, next up...
Madoka Magica. I mean, Revue Starlight, sorry. Yeah. This past episode was way out of left field. Not a bad way.
This episode got dark.
Yeah, it showed how Daiba was going through this. So she wants to be the head lead. Mm-hmm. She wants to be the top lead in Starlight. Mm-hmm. So she, for an innumerable amount of times, they didn't tell us, she won the stage girl award where they're all fighting, that thing. She became number 1, and then apparently the number 1 person gets essentially a wish. It's like, what kind of stage do you want? Which is, I'm assuming, like, what's your wish? Mm-hmm. And then she wishes to go back a year and repeat I want a repeat performance of Starlight. Yeah. So the giraffes is like, well, all right. Okay, he sends her back. Also, we get a lot more explanation of how the stage works. Mm-hmm. It's all... He says that the stage is powered by the girls, like, sparkle and shine. Like, yeah. The harder they try, the more the stage reacts, which is... It doesn't feel like a MacGuffin. It makes a lot of sense, because a lot of stuff on the stage seem like, how is that happening? Like... Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a MacGuffin in a way of, like, it's magic. Mm-hmm. But, like, you know, like, all the giant props that fly around the stage, like, launches up and creates scenes seemingly at will. Yeah. So somehow they're harvesting all the energy of the girls' like encouragement and hope or whatever.
Yeah. They're some magical girl BS.
Yeah. And they're converting it into whatever. So we get like a cool summary of Daiba going through the year. It was really confusing at first. Yeah. The way they played a bunch of stuff out of order, and although now that I think about it, they had the timeline pop up of like saying what year it was or whatever, and also they had the either 99th Starlight or 100th Starlight posters in the background to show what kind of part they were in. So Daiba goes through this loop again, and again because she's trying to become the number one Starlight girl.
I thought it was something a little different. I don't think she was trying to become a number one. She was just trying to relive that experience over and over again. Because she didn't want to, she was afraid of getting older and growing up, and she cherished those memories so much that she didn't want to give it up. So every time she would just relive it in an attempt to try and keep that memory alive.
Well, no, because she kept saying that at the end of every loop, she says the stage is still too bright. Mm. Like, I haven't quite got there yet. He's like, can you handle it? She's like, no, it's still too bright. Mm. And because you get to go, a lot of the theming in the episode is her kind of being a little upset that she's in the background. Yeah. And she's always seen as like the supporting role of everyone else. Yeah. That helps everyone out.
Everyone's banana.
Yeah. Yeah. It showed how she got her nickname.
Yeah, her nickname.
And like I think that she's going to go through the loop. She keeps trying to go through the loop to eventually be the number one or the lead role, I guess.
Maybe. I personally do think that part of it as well is just that she doesn't want to give up that part of her life. She wants to.
Why do you say that?
Because she actually said something to that effect. Because she said that how she was talking about how the 99th Starlight was the best. It'll never be better than this. So she just wants to keep reliving that.
Then why she seems so upset at the end of every
because it's ending every time, I think.
Well, she seems so like deadpan and depressed at the end of every single one. Even if she has the ability to go back in time, she still just seems like, whatever. It's still too bright. I couldn't do it this time. I think there's a desired outcome she's trying to get.
Yeah, possibly. I think there's quite a bit here. Again, this episode had a lot to unpack. Mm-hmm. One of these things that just came out of left field. Like, I was not expecting it. It took a pretty dark turn.
Yeah, it was really cool. I don't know how to explain it. It came out of nowhere, but in a way that
felt natural.
Yeah, they kind of already set up the premise of this show. It's like it's got magic in it, kind of.
Yeah,
it's got the talking giraffe, which they expanded more on the talking giraffe. Was I think his name is just Giraffe. That's what they call him.
Yeah, they just call him the Giraffe, as far as we know.
His end game is he wants to see a world that has never come before. Yeah. Like he wants to see a new sparkling stage, I think it was.
I think so. That makes the most sense.
So he's running these girls through
this gauntlet, pretty much,
just to bring out like more emotions and more. I think he's just trying to put more and more into like the stage.
I imagine that has to be the case because, but that's just the interesting thing. It seems like after about 7 episodes, we finally found the plot, so to speak. Like, cause the first 6 episodes have mainly been character development, trying to get in the headspace of these girls, which that was all appreciated. And it seems like the last half is going to be the plot.
Didn't Kill do something similar to that? At the beginning was like the smaller plot.
Yeah.
And then the end was like the bigger plot.
Yeah. Actually, that's a really good point. But, yeah, this episode in particular, I was just kind of blown away because at the ending I'm like, holy crap, Banana's the antagonist?
Yeah.
Really?
Apparently she's like the strongest fighter. Either that or she knows. Well, yeah, she is the strongest fighter because she won the first one without cheating.
Yeah. But now she just kind of knows.
So Hikari shows up.
And that's the thing that's throwing a wrench into her plans.
She had the same loop every time for countless amount of times, then Hikari shows up, which, back when Hikari was talking to Karen, saying like, I'm not going to let you do this. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to let you compete. It's nothing good is going to come from it. That probably had something to do with this. I think Hikari knows what's going on.
Also, something to point out, she is the only person with a blue cape, while everyone else has red capes. Yeah, she's the only person with a blue cape.
Never noticed that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because she is from... If, like, the different schools or something have, like, different, these kinds of things, like, maybe it's sort of a, like, this is happening all over the world and all these performance schools and things like that. But, I don't know. We have no way of knowing yet, because now but it ends with Banana just kind of standing in the dark, like the sun is going down, but she's standing in, like, a darkened hallway, and it's like, well, no matter who comes in, I'll make sure that I have my perfect show. Just kind of creepy.
That was I already enjoyed the show, but I think this is really what this hooked me. This episode, it just had me absolutely just paying attention to the screen like the whole time.
Yeah, this episode I will say definitely it definitely put it up more for me than the last 6 episodes.
More like substance to it.
Yeah, definitely, because that was my major thing, because I was worried that this show was mostly going to be spectacle with very, very little substance, but this episode really is like, okay, there's the plot, this is kind of interesting.
But yeah, we should move on. I could talk about this show all day. What's next?
Alright, last but not least, Steins Gate Zero. All I have to say is, we called it.
Oh my god.
We finally...
Yeah, last episode in the podcast, we were talking about how I made the prediction that Leskinen sent Kaguri back in time as a double agent to tell his previous self that about all the stuff.
Yes.
Exactly what happened.
That is exactly what happened this episode. And... Because, Leskinen unveils his major plan and stuff like that. Kaguri kills a bunch of people.
Yeah, which we learned that Kaguri was the person in the motorcycle helmet by the end of the last episode.
Which leads us to believe that I think that Leskinen's assistant, I do not remember her name, but was probably the one who was killed.
Yeah, the older lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was probably killed by Kaguri right there.
And
which I think that they were... they probably went there together. Mm-hmm. Like Kaguri and Leskinen's assistant were probably supposed to be there at the same time as well. Mm-hmm. But Kaguri ended up seeing what happened to Mayuri, snapped, killed Leskinen's assistant, and then went out to absolutely murder the rest of the soldiers.
Which, let's point out that Kaguri has also apparently, has not only been brainwashed, but also, like, genetically or even cybernetically enhanced. We don't know. She's just been enhanced as far as
I don't think cybernetically enhanced. I think that she has received martial training, and also the fact that she just can't feel pain.
Yeah.
Because she just, like, takes shots by these guys, like, one after the other, and she just doesn't react to them.
Yeah, she just can't feel pain, and she has been enhanced, which we don't know what kind of technology the future really holds. It could be, like, some kind of genetic enhancement or something like that. Yeah, or even some kind of drugs. She could very easily be drugged up.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, so, well, we end up, and then unfortunately, Kaguri dies. Kaguri is killed.
No! If only they could go back in time and change everything.
Yeah, if only, right? It's not like the show's about time travel or anything. But anyway, so that actually is Mayuri resolves with Suzuha to go back in time to complete Operation Arclight. We finally get a little context. As far as we know, yes, this was part of Daru's plan. Or at least Daru from the future, because...
Yeah, I think that Daru from the future knew all this stuff that just happened was going to happen.
Yep. But we do get to see... We get to see that that Mayuri and Suzuha are getting ready to go back in the time machine. Then another helicopter shows up. And then...
Stratfor.
Yes, more from Stratfor.
The Stratfor faction, because they land and they say, get the professor.
Yeah. And then another faction shows up.
Derpa.
Yeah, Derpa.
Yeah, Derpa. I'm not sure exactly what Derpa is. I know it's another faction. They fly in, they blow the shit out of the helicopter, and then they try to destroy the time machine. So Stratfor wanted to keep the time machine?
Yeah, Leskinen wanted the ability to basically manipulate time as he pleased.
So he tried to get the time machine. Then the Derpa helicopter came in, started blowing everything up on the platform, shooting machine guns, and then they launch a missile at the time machine. But just before the missile impacts, the time machine
disappears.
Just barely makes it out.
We don't know. We think that part of it might actually have been damaged, maybe even exploded. It's kind of left ambiguous what actually happens, as far as we know.
I think they made it because I think that they got. I'm not sure. I think that was a D-mail.
Yeah, maybe.
Or a text. So maybe it was. They went back in time, then they did all the stuff going through that year. Like Mayuri and Suzuha went through that year. And I think maybe once they got to that point, she sent a text to him.
Maybe.
Because texts don't just, like, it doesn't just take, like, 5 minutes for a text to dramatically get sent to you. That's how texts work. Because when the whole situation resolved itself and everything calmed down, Okabe got the text of the tuturu.
Yeah.
Mayuri telling him about...
Yeah, we finally got to hear another tuturu. Yeah. Like, we haven't really heard much of that this season from Mayuri. Which some people might like, other people might not.
I miss it. I miss it so much.
Yeah. Because that was just a sign that Mayuri was happy.
Yeah.
She's been pretty down lately.
Yeah, the last couple episodes have just been sad Mayuri, and it fucking sucks.
Yeah. Sad Mayuri is the worst Mayuri, because just... Again, seeing somebody who's typically so happy and cheerful, and just seeing them so sad is just hard to watch. It's like watching a puppy.
Yeah, a puppy get beat and lit on fire.
Oh, God. But we get to see, Okabe... This is finally, I think, Okabe's breaking point, because he goes into this big speech of, I didn't do anything because I thought this was the best path. I want... Kurisu's sacrifice meant the happiest ending for everybody, and even if it was miserable for me, it meant happiness for everyone else.
He'd accepted it at this point. He'd accepted that Kurisu's gone forever, and everyone else's lives are better for it.
Yeah. Except for his. Yeah. But I think this is finally the breaking point, because he went back to go to the time leap machine and actually try to start using it, and Hyajo says, no, don't, it's incomplete.
Yeah.
And that's when
he gets the text.
Yeah, that's when he gets the
text.
That
kind of calms him down. And also, earlier we got to hear Mayuri say, like, I love Hoho and Kyoma, but I love Okabe Rintaro more.
Yeah.
Which is a really cool...
This was actually at the end of the That was actually at the end of this episode.
Oh,
because
was that the text?
Yeah, because in the previous episode, she said the reverse.
Yeah.
She said she loves Hoi and Kyoma more, but more than Okabe Rintaro. But she loves Okabe. But here she said she loves Hoi and Kyoma, but loves Okabe more.
Which I guess was her true feelings.
Maybe. Mayuri, you're a surprisingly complicated girl, but
yeah, she was super simple in the beginning.
Yeah,
just she shows up, says "Tutoru."
Yeah, pretty much. And something we forgot to mention that I thought was actually a pretty cool scene when Kaguri's going completely apeshit. She rips off two guys' heads with her bare hands.
Oh, she's like, "Judo chop!" and just chops off their heads. She doesn't rip them off. She just goes, "Ha!" It's like just go flying off.
It's like, wait, what? What just happened? But that was a really cool thing. I hope we get to see what actually happens. I think the next episode we are going to see the return of Hoi and Kyoma. We're going to see Okabe.
I hope so.
I hope so too. I've been trying to avoid spoilers, but looking on Kitsu and stuff, you occasionally go, "Oh, people who are looking."
Don't talk about it at all.
Yeah,
if you have anything.
But yeah. Basically, it was just people who know the visual novel are probably losing their fucking minds right now, is what people have been saying.
Little point I want to make. I really liked seeing Mayuri's determined face when she got in the time machine. Because, you know, most of the time Mayuri's like meek and you know, she takes a second seat to everyone else. She lets everyone else do their thing, kind of supports them. But you just see this determined face of like, I'm going to go back and fix it. It's Operation Arclight.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, go do the thing, Mayuri.
It's like, yeah. And that she actually points that out in the in her text message. Like, I've been lab member 002 for so long.
It's her first big mission.
Yep, it's Mayuri's first big...
My baby girl, she's going out on her own.
Yeah, she's going out to destroy people. But, oh my god. This episode was great.
Fantastic.
Man, I'm actually kind of sad to see it about to end here pretty soon. We've only got like 4 episodes.
What is it? Week
7.
It's week 7. So is it the week 9 episode that is going to be delayed?
I think so. Yeah.
I think there's still the week 8 episode.
Yeah,
that's coming up soon.
But they but yeah, I'm actually kind of sad to see this one end because it's been an emotional roller coaster. Yep. But anyway,
so we are over halfway done with summer 2018. It's been a wild ride so far. Did not expect some of the turns we were going to have with like Revue Starlight and Steins Gate. A lot of crazy stuff happening there.
Yup.
It's been a lot of fun though. So we're going to head and call this week right here. If you have any comments about what we talked about today, anything you think that we should be watching, go ahead and leave in the comments below.
Even stuff from like previous seasons. We might actually end up talking about it in our backlog sections. Because we like wanting to... Because like any anime fan, even though it's a bit of a chore with the list, so it is, it's always fun to see what other people are watching and see what they want to share. That's what the big part of the anime community is, just sharing really cool things.
Enjoying everything with everyone else.
Yep, absolutely.
We're still trying to work on the format of the show. We're slowly getting it down, I think, to the formula exactly we want it. So we'll thank everyone who's sticking around for everything.
Yeah, all 6 of you so far.
But yeah, that's going to be it for this week. We'll see you next week.
All right. Take care, guys.
Easy. Bye.